All right, guys. Well, thank you for attending. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. My name is Brooks Burnett. We're going to go ahead and get started today. So, this webinar is going to be on the paid ads playbook for remodeling contractors. And so, this is not going to be specific to one advertising platform, which I do have videos on specific platforms. This is going to be a lesson on the overall strategy. What is the best strategy for remodeling contractors when it comes to paid ads in general? Okay. And so let's just dive right in. We're not going to skip around here. Again, my name is Brooks Burnett from Remodel Reach Marketing, and we're going to dive right in. So first thing, we're going to talk about why you should be doing paid ads as a remodeling contractor. Are they is there a good way to do them? Are they the right choice for remodelers? Then we're going to talk about quality leads over a quantity of leads or some variation. Then we'll get into the actual playbook, and then we'll talk about how to budget. And then finally, at the end, we have a Q&A session as always. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and submit them there. So, why should you listen to me? So I've owned a marketing agency for about 7 years now, or I have about 7 years of experience in digital marketing. And I specialize in the remodeling industry, and all of my clients are remodelers. Okay, so our agency is specific for remodeling contractors, and so I'm a member of some of the nation's biggest organizations for remodelers, like the NARI, like NARI, and the NAHB. So, getting into this program here. So, as I always say when it comes to my webinars and my lessons, you never want to do just one thing. Now, this is a collection of things, right? The playbook is not just one advertising strategy, but advertising in general is still technically like one piece of the whole puzzle. And so there is a value in diversifying your online marketing strategy. Okay. And so advertising is a piece of it, but it doesn't need to be the whole piece. Okay. So you need to have a good quality website. You need to be doing search engine optimization to come up at the top of Google organically. You need to have a good social media presence, and all of these other things go into your online strategy. So don't focus on just advertising and paid ads. So getting into the actual strategy. So why should you try paid ads? Referrals are pretty much where most people get a bulk of their leads and a bulk of their jobs, right? And so that's good. That is good. And most people build their companies off of those leads and off of those referrals. But referrals are unpredictable. You never really know when they're going to come in. You can have strategies. You can have strategies for building your referrals, but at the same time, you it's hard to determine when the next lead is going to come in, and they are typically a very good and high converting lead, but they're just a little bit unpredictable. Okay. So paid ads can allow you to control somewhat control your lead flow, get more jobs of specific services. So for example, we just had a client that is trying to sell more of their cabinets. So we started an advertising campaign specifically for cabinets, cabinet design, cabinet designers, cabinet installers, all those different words, right? And so we started a campaign specifically for that service. If you're just relying on referrals, you never really know what you're going to get. Okay. You can get more jobs in specific areas as well. You can break into new markets. And so if you are doing an advertising strategy and you're breaking in, doing some paid ads, and you're breaking into a surrounding area, all you have to do is tell Google, tell Facebook, tell whatever advertising platform you're on that, hey, I want to be in this area. Show my ad in this area. Okay. And that's all you have to do. So those are some benefits. Now let's talk about quality versus quantity, because quality is always something that we're striving for in the remodeling industry. There's lots of tire kickers, a lot of price shoppers, window shoppers, price hopping, whatever you want to call it. But also there is a value in the quantity of lead as well. Okay, so quantity, if you have quantity of leads, then that allows for more opportunities to win projects. If you're getting a lot of quantity, then you can be more choosy. You can be more choosy with the projects that you take on. You can There are ways to filter out quickly the leads that you are getting. And so that is an option. Now, the quality also is something that we're trying to get. So it's really not one or the other. We're trying to get a quantity of quality leads. That's what you want to do. You want to get a quantity, a high quantity of high quality leads. Okay. So quality leads are obviously going to be higher converting. They give you more time because you're not chasing down, the tire kickers and not wasting your time with them. And so what we want to do is increase the amount of quality leads rather than just, increasing the quantity. So that's ultimately the goal here. Now, so again, like I said, this playbook is designed to provide high quality leads at a higher quantity for your business. Okay. So increasing the amount of overall leads, but also strategically making sure that you are getting those calls, right? And getting those high quality leads. So how do we do that? So paid ads for remodelers, they are a good strategy. And I do recommend every remodeling contractor that is able and has the infrastructure to do so to use and to implement these strategies. So when your business has capped out on referrals, or you might want to break into a new market, one of those different reasons why you might be doing paid ads, those are the reasons why you would want to do them. So you're getting, let's say, I don't know, 5 referrals a month, 3 referrals a month, and they all convert, or like, 75%, 80% or so convert. That's good. But if that's all you're getting every single month, then, and you want to grow the business, you want to start maybe taking on more jobs a week, that kind of thing, then yes, you're going to have to invest in some paid ads and in some marketing. And so you have to decide on a couple of things and see if it is worth it to your business. Now, this kind of gets on to the budgeting side, but you have to determine what your cost of acquisition is. Okay. So if your average job is about $30,000, okay, so kitchen, bath, whatever, let's just say, to put a number on it. If your average job is about $30,000, how much are you willing to spend to land that job? Okay. So are you willing to spend 10,000? Probably not, right? Because that might be what you're making in profit. But 5,000, maybe. If it's a little bit higher of a paying job, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. And so you have to consider how much you are willing to spend for each job that you close. Okay, this is not saying that you're going to have to end up spending, $5,000 on every single lead that you get, but it puts you in the right mindset of, okay, how much am I reasonably, if I can only get one lead out of this campaign, right? Out of this advertising campaign, how much would I be willing to invest to get that one lead? Okay. And now the next thing you need to consider is your close ratio. So how many jobs do you close from the amount of leads that you're currently getting? So if they're all referrals, your close ratio is going to be higher. But think about leads that you get off of Google, or they find your Yelp account or whatever. They just find you online somehow. Think about how many of those you actually close and use that to determine the close ratio of your projected close ratio, I should say, for your paid campaigns, paid online ads. And so if your close ratio is about 50%, well, if you're generating about, 20 leads a month, you should be able to close about 10 of those, right? You can be conservative and say, we'll close about 40, 35%, things like that. And so just these are things to consider. And so if you're saying, okay, our cost per acquisition is gonna be 2,000, let's just say, and we're going to try to get five jobs out of our campaigns, then we're willing to spend $10,000 for those five jobs, and we think that we can close those five jobs based on, getting 25 leads, and so these are just things to think about, rather than throwing spaghetti at a wall and seeing what sticks. Okay. And so, what is the actual playbook? What are the actual strategies here? So, it's very simple, very simple. Three online platforms. You're going to use Google Ads, you're going to use Google local service ads, and you're going to use Facebook retargeting ads. Okay. And so these three platforms will allow you to generate leads, generate calls, while at the same time starting that process that your customers might need to become a paying customer, because I understand that home remodeling, the length of the sales process is typically a lot longer than in other industries, right? So you could be talking with the lead for potentially months or a year before they decide to move forward with their project. And so we have to consider that. But also, we have to jump at leads whenever we get them. Okay. And so a little bit more about this. So Google Ads, these are Google search ads. So these are getting calls for specific jobs. Okay. So Google Search Ads is an advertising platform that is on Google that allows you to target keywords. Okay. Local service ads do as well, but Google Ads, search ads are a little bit more specific. Okay. So if you're looking for, increasing the amount of kitchen jobs, kitchen projects that you have, then you can create campaigns specifically for kitchen remodeling, and all the keywords that are involved in there. So you can get high quality leads out of the Google search ads because you are the one choosing the keywords that you show up for. Okay. You're choosing people searching for this keyword here. So for example, if someone is looking for, if you want to, you know, get rid of the tire kickers, if you want to get rid of them, then a potential search term could be, or a negative search term, something that you don't want Google to show you for, could be cheapest kitchen remodelers, cheap kitchen remodeling job, quick kitchen remodeling project, a contractor, words like that someone would be searching if they're simply wanting, a $5,000, they think that they can only spend $5,000 on a new kitchen, right? And so you have to tell Google, hey, I do not want to show up for these words, so that way they can show you for the words that you do want to show up for. Okay. And so you're telling them, don't show me for these words, do show me for these. And so that's very powerful when you can do that successfully to show up for the proper terms and the proper words. And so for the next platform is Google Local Service Ads. And so this is the last this is the webinar, excuse me, the last webinar I did was specifically on Google Local Service Ads, so go check that out. But Google Local Service Ads are pay per lead, and we'll take a look at some examples here in a second. But Google Local Service Ads are a pay per lead advertising platform, okay? So in other words, if you don't get a lead, if you're not getting calls, then you're not having to pay for them, okay? So they show up at the top of Google. They are great at generating leads pretty quickly. Now, the only downside to local services is that they are typically a lower quality lead. Okay, so they can bring in a large amount of leads, and sometimes they are good, but they can be sort of a time waster, not necessarily a full-on time waster, but they are good at generating leads and generating calls. Okay. And so combining the two, though, will definitely help you to get an overall better visibility on the front page of Google, because at the end of the day, we're trying to show up for people who are looking for your services. That is the best way that you're going to find good quality leads online. Okay. It's not on Facebook. It's not on Instagram. It's not on Pinterest. You're going to find good quality leads for people who are looking for your services. Typing in kitchen remodeler near me, new bathroom designer near me, things like that. So that way, you show up and raise your hand and say, hey, I can help you with your project. Now, lastly, we have Facebook retargeting ads. And so Facebook retargeting ads are designed to reach people who have shown interest in your company already. So either they've clicked on your Google ads, they've clicked on your website before, they follow you on Facebook. It's people who have come to your website and shown interest in your company. We're showing up in front of them again to make sure that we stay at the top of their mind. So maybe they did not move forward. Maybe they showed up or they came to your website and then did not move forward. We capture them. We capture that person's information and then show back up in front of them when they're on social media. So to bring them back to your company. And so I kind of use these pictures here to show you the cost of each of these. So you can raise all of these as much as you want, but typically you want to have a bulk of the budget going towards the Google and local service ads. It really depends on which one is performing the best for you at the time as to which one you put more money towards. But the Facebook retargeting ads is a very small amount. It's like $1 a day, because we're not targeting, a huge amount of people. We're only targeting just a couple of people, right? Yeah, or just a handful of people. There's not a ton of people that you're going to be showing your ads to. So that budget is typically going to be a little bit lower. Okay. And so here is an example of a Google search ad. Okay. So there's a description. The blue words kind of tell people what your business is. If you're focusing on something specific, like for example, those cabinets like my client is doing, then you're definitely going to want to put something about cabinets in your ad and then give a little bit more of an explanation here in the description part. So people who want to read a little bit, learn a little bit more about the company, learn a little bit more about what they're going to be clicking on. And so this is what a Google search ad looks like. And now this is an example of Google local service ads. So they come up at the very top of the page. And again, they are a pay per lead ad. So you get calls, you get messages, whichever one you want to do. And so, or whichever one you want to get. And so these businesses, they show up at the top. They show up at they're the first to show up at the top of the page. And so you do not have to pay unless someone is calling, right? But since they are at the top and since they are relatively quick, you are going to have, sometimes a higher volume of callers and a higher volume of leads, even at at a lower quality. Okay, so that is a potential, but at the same time, if you do some renovations or emergency services, this is great for that too, and so they all work together. Always recommend doing both for your campaigns. Now, Facebook retargeting. So this is an example here of like what a good remodeling retargeting ad would look like. So this is ideally being put in front of someone. This is just a screenshot, right? This is a video, but we're reaching back out to customers. We're showing them, our work, showing them more examples, a slideshow maybe, things like that to bring them back to your customers, to bring them back to your website, back to your business. Okay. And so when it comes to creating these campaigns here, we're not going to spend any time on this because it would be a multiple part series. And so honestly, there's people online that can explain it easier and faster than I can. So simply, if you don't have any of these in place, start with local service ads and go to Google and type in how to set up Google local service ads. Go to whenever you want to do these retargeting ads, go to YouTube and type in how to set up Facebook retargeting ads. So I'm a simple guy. You guys know that. And so that's just what I would recommend. Just I'm not trying to be something I'm not. Okay. And so, yes, we do this for our clients, obviously. But if you want to do this on your own, the easiest way is going to just go to YouTube and search how to set up Google ads, how to set up Facebook retargeting ads, and these different things like this. Now, so by combining these, you will have a fully optimized marketing plan, online marketing strategy here because we're getting search visibility. We're increasing that by showing up on the front page more often. We are capturing the leads, whether they call immediately or they come to your landing page, come to your website. Then we're retargeting them on Facebook and Instagram as well. So we're retargeting them, and that will in turn generate more jobs, more leads, more people coming to your business saying that they're interested, looking for your services. Okay. And so the last thing here, let's talk about budget and how to budget all of this out. So now it depends on your spend, obviously. So however much you want to spend, you try that. I would not recommend any less than $1,000 per month. I would not recommend any less than that. Okay. And so, but if you have, let's say, at $1,000, then I would just focus on the local service ads and the Facebook retargeting ads. Again, because the Facebook retargeting ads, you're not going to want to spend any more than 100 on those, right? Focus on the local service ads, get some of those Google or Facebook retargeting ads up because the local service ads, they will generate, most likely, they will generate more calls and they're a little bit easier to set up. Okay. Well, actually, they're quite a lot easier to set up than the Google search ads. And so if you've only got about $1,000, then, I would focus on the local service ads. Now, if you have 1,500 or so or more, then obviously you're going to split this up. Okay. So I would do something like $1,000 on local service ads and then $500 to the search ads and then $40 a month to the Facebook retargeting ads. And so but all of this, you need to make sure that you're tracking all of this and seeing which one is performing the best for you and for your market. And so that way you can adjust, okay? You can adjust. You can say, okay, local service ads didn't really work very well, but we got, 10 calls or 10 leads, 10 form submissions based on the Google search ads. So you're going to want to put more of that budget towards the Google ads. Okay, so split whatever you've got. If you've got $2,000 a month, then split them right down the middle. 1,000 to local service ads, 1,000 to search ads, and vice versa. So you really can't go wrong with these. And so I would just recommend trying something. Get something out there, try it, and see what works and see what sticks for you. So I hope this was beneficial and I hope you got a better idea. It's very simple, okay? It's very simple. It's not that complicated. We're just running Google ads on both platforms on the front page of Google, both platforms, Google service ads and Google search ads. And then we're just simply retargeting the customers on Facebook and Instagram. And so that is the program. That is the plan. That is the playbook. You're focusing on those platforms to generate leads, generate calls, and then you're reaching back out to them via Facebook and Instagram, showing them why they need to come back to your company, right? Offer incentives, offer something, a free, a free design, meeting or, something like that. Just something to tell people that, yes, come back to us. Let's get your project started, things like that. Okay. And so thank you so much again for watching and attending. It is time for the Q&A session. And so if you have questions, I will go ahead and read them. Make sure that you put them into the Q&A box here. And so if not, then thank you again for watching. If you need help with this, give me a call. If you're interested in advertising, but you don't really know where to start, this is a great place to start, or give me a call. I'll be happy to help. So thank you so much for watching. And those of you who are staying for the Q&A, please do. And I will see you guys next month. Thank you so much.